Welcome back to session 2 of this course on understanding and managing depression. I'm psychologist Dr. Traci Moreno. In the first session, we talked about what depression is and what it isn't. In this session, we'll discuss the different thoughts that race through our mind. We need to know which ones to listen to and which ones to ignore. You'll need a pen and paper for this exercise, and if you don't already have one, just pause the recording and continue when you're ready. When depression overtakes us, it's similar to that of a drug. If you've ever seen someone who is drunk or high, then you know it makes people do and say things that they wouldn't normally do or say. This is how depression works. When we wake up in the morning, our brain tells us, "What do you need to wake up for? You don't need to do anything today. Nobody cares anyway. Just go back to bed." Then another day goes by that we've done nothing. Then when we go to sleep that night, we feel badly about ourselves, guilty, maybe even ashamed. Then we wake up the next morning in that same feeling and do it all over again. This is the cycle of depression. And just like a drug, depression wants to keep us sick because it wants to stay around. It knows that if we get better, it has to leave. So how does depression keep such a strong hold over us when we so desperately want to get better? It engages in like an internal psychological warfare. It puts thoughts in our head and makes us believe things that aren't true. It brainwashes us. Now, if that sounds too crazy to believe, let me try to prove my point with some examples. When we're in that black hole of depression, it can make us believe no one cares about us or that we don't care about ourselves. It can make us believe our situation is hopeless. And as you may already know, this feels as real gets. But magically, a few days or weeks later, when the depression fades away, we suddenly feel okay. We realize that people do care about us and we do care about ourselves and we want to get better. We realize there is hope. So then which thoughts are real? They can't both be real. Did the people that care about us now suddenly stop caring then? Were we lying about wanting to get better? Were we lying about caring about ourselves? Why do we suddenly feel hopeful when our situation is still the same? Well, we aren't delusional, and we weren't in the twilight zone or an alternate reality, although I think that might be an easier process to go through. We were depressed, and depression makes us believe things that just aren't true. Once we're able to climb out of that hole of depression and see the light, we start to see things differently. We see things more clearly and more objectively. Let's do an exercise. So go ahead and grab the pen and paper. And I want you to write down a list of things that you believe to be true when you're depressed. Include the negative things you believe about yourself, about other people, and about life or the world in general. We'll go through these one at a time, and I'll give you some examples to give you some guidance and help. So let's talk about things that you believe about yourself to be true. Some examples could be that I'm never good enough, or that good things never happen to me, or that I'm ugly. Go ahead and write what you believe to be true about yourself. Let's go talk about some negative beliefs about other people. Some examples of this could be that people only care about themselves, or that other people can't be trusted, or everyone eventually leaves me. Write down the negative beliefs that you believe to be true about other people. And now the negative beliefs about life or the world in general. Some of those examples could be, there's no point to living because we're just going to die anyway. Or that life will eat you up and spit you out if you let it. You might even believe the world is against me. Go ahead and write what you believe to be true about the world and about life. Now look over this list and cross out with one line all the beliefs that you know aren't really true. Now, sometimes we still feel like it's true in the moment when we feel depressed, but we know from a rational, logical place in our mind that it's not true. Again, just put one line through each of the beliefs that you wrote that you believe are not really true. Now, next to the ones that you crossed out, write what you know to be true instead. For example, if you believe that bad things always happen to you could write something like, good and bad things happen to everyone, not just me. Or if you believe that people don't love you, you can write, I am loved. If you just believe that life sucks, you could put, life doesn't always suck. There are good times too. Go ahead and write your truths next to the ones you crossed out. Now on that paper, I want you to also write, no emotion lasts forever. Again, no emotion lasts forever. And write, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. This is important to remember because when we're in it, it feels like it'll never end and that there's no way out. Keep this paper somewhere, like in your nightstand or a place where it's accessible if you need it. And next time you start falling into that trap of depression in the mind, where you start believing all of these negative things again, bring out the paper and read it. In the moment, it's nearly impossible for us to believe anything differently. But when we see those contradictory beliefs written in our own handwriting, it makes it hard to ignore. Written reminders are a great tool. So write down anything else that would be helpful to remember during those times. This is the end of this recording for session 1 and the beginning of your therapy homework. I want you to write down and just journal through where these negative beliefs may have come from. Explore all the different emotions that come up when you think about these beliefs and why. Figure out whether these beliefs are rational or irrational, meaning, did you actually deserve these negative messages, or did they come from someone that could have also been struggling in life? In the course classroom, please share your journey and ask questions. Sharing not only helps you, it also helps others. This is the end of session 2.